and welcome to a video where we make these lovely garden beds. Good morning everybody and welcome back to another vlog. So it is finally that time of year. It is springtime, it is Easter weekend this weekend, and for me Easter has so much symbolism in it. There's the turnover of the seasons, it's the start of new life growing, spring is upon us, warmer weather and sunnier skies are ahead. And it's also this time of year when I start planning and planting my summer garden. So a company called VEGEGA, I think that's how you pronounce it. They're a company that makes expandable metal raised garden beds, and they were kind enough to send me a few to review, and I just gotta say, they were great. They were perfect, honestly. I honestly think that they read my mind when they sent the light green sage color. That was definitely my favorite color. So last weekend we assembled those and it was a really easy process to assemble, not too difficult. It came with everything that you needed to assemble it. So for my climate here in Germany, we usually transfer things or plant things outside middle to end of May. Things like peas, I will usually plant a little bit earlier, closer to mid to earlier May, but things like zucchinis, any type of squash, tomatoes, those are definitely going to be to the end of May, maybe even in June. So that makes Easter weekend the perfect time to sow my seeds indoors so that they can start growing. So let me show you the seeds that I've collected over the last few years and we'll see what we're going to plant this year. So I would say the vegetable that does the best for us every year, it has done so well, is zucchini. So we planted last year yellow zucchinis and then also these striped zucchinis. They both did so well. I think these are really good in raised garden beds because they're a low bush. Something like a tomato, because it climbs so high, I would put that in the lowest garden bed. But then something like peppers or herbs, this year we're planting a lot of dill because we love dill. Those I would put in a higher raised garden bed because they're shorter plants. So I'm definitely thinking that some spinach would be good. This is a winter variety though, so I might need to get a different type that's better to grow over summertime. I also have this arugula, another shorter plant that is good in a higher raised garden bed, just because it's easier to work with then. So what we need to do now is actually make our soil. My plan for this was to kind of collect older pots of soil that are just out in our garden and kind of combine them, mix it with some water and also with some compost just to revitalize it a little bit, give it some more life so that our seedlings can grow good. So let's go do that. So we've made our fresh soil with the compost and water. I think it actually worked pretty well, and it was looking pretty similar to the soil that you get new from the store. So I think that works pretty well. And then I filled up the toilet paper rolls and planted our peas in there. I think for today I'm just gonna plant the peas because those go out the earliest. And then probably next week I'm going to start planting the other things. But now we are going to head out to our garden and we need to fill these garden beds. So there's a lot of options when you want to fill a garden bed, but especially the one is really tall. It goes up to my hips, which is really nice, but you need to find a way to fill it. So what we're trying is we've been collecting cardboard. I think we are actually just going to use the cardboard box that the raised beds came in. Great way to reuse them. And first lay that down on the grass or wherever you're going to be putting the garden bed. Then we're going to put a little like netting, like a chicken wire fencing material, chicken wire. And we're going to lay that down just so that no mice get up into the raised bed and eat our potatoes or zucchinis or whatever we're growing. And on top of that, we are going to put mulch. So very fortunately, one of our neighbors, they also have a big raised garden bed, and they told us where we can go to get very, very affordable mulch. So my husband went on a mission and they went and bought, how much did you guys buy? They bought so much mulch and it was like €5 in total. And usually that would only get you like a normal size bag from the gardening center. But this makes it very affordable to then fill the garden beds. So first we'll put a thick layer of mulch. Having the wood already cut up a little bit like mulch is, I think it's long-term better for the pH of the soil. I read that when you fill the bottom with logs, then over time it can kind of mess with the pH of the soil. So we went for mulch, and then we're going to put just a layer of compost and then a layer of gardening, just like potting soil. So that's our job for tomorrow, and then in a few weeks time, maybe a month, then we'll be able to go and plant in our garden bed. Another possibility, a little hack if you will, is you could make them into a sort of like a greenhouse. If you get a piece of glass or something, an old window, just kind of lay it on top, then you can start your seeds outside a little bit earlier and it'll protect them from the frost. It'll make like a little greenhouse. You know, I think that's great, especially for the taller raised bed, because you can leave a bit more space at the top of the bed and then cover it. And then you got yourself a little greenhouse so you can start planting a little earlier. Alright, so you can see here we have our big raised garden bed. We have this chicken wire that we're going to put on the very bottom just to stop any mice or things from digging up. And then we also have a ton of mulch, which is going to go as a bottom layer, and then also we can put a layer on top to stop it from drying out. This works really well against the soil drying out, and then you need to water it less often, which saves water, which is always good. So the first step is measuring this out to cover the bottom.
Life is in a stream. The ocean called for you and me. Still, I'm in this game, but without my closest friend. Fear, it's leaving now. I waited here, but nothing came. So I close my eyes, 'cause you reflect in everything. It's shining through the light in you. It shines so true.
Alright, so we successfully made our little mesh wire at the bottom of the garden bed. We put them where they're going to be staying, and now we can reuse the boxes that they came in to put a layer of cardboard on the inside to prevent grasses and weeds from growing up through the garden bed. So now it's time for this.
Free, feel free to run. Make it once again. And dreams turns into ashes.
Alright guys, so it's the next day. We spent so much time working in the garden and it was so much fun. It's like, I feel like garden work is such an enjoyable type of work. So I just wanted to come back on here and talk to you guys about the beginning of this year, 2023. I made a video talking about how I really wanted to improve my mental health and really work on my mental health this year. And one thing that helps me a lot, especially, you know, spring, summer, is gardening. It has so many benefits because you can grow your own food, you can grow beautiful flowers, you get to go out and get some fresh air, and it's also really good for your mental health. So every year we've been expanding our garden little by little, and I honestly love it. If you guys didn't know, I actually worked in a greenhouse for a few years after I finished high school, and it was, I mean, that was really, really hard work. It was a manual labor job and it was kind of intense. And I think what made it so much more difficult was because, you know, in the greenhouse, they want to maximize their profits and stuff. So they had everything just on the floor and you had to work bent over the whole day. And I mean, I was 18 and I had such a sore back every day. And I think then having a raised garden bed is such an improvement. It is life-changing when you want to get out and do some work because it makes it so much more enjoyable. It doesn't make it work anymore. It makes it fun and something that you actually want to go out and do. So this video isn't sponsored. I did get sent these raised garden beds from VEGEGA, and honestly, I have nothing bad to say about them. I think they were really good, fairly priced, and one thing that's good about them is that they have EU warehouses. So in Germany, I was still able to get them, even though I think they're based out of America, but even with that, I was still able to get the products shipped to me in Germany without having to pay, well, what do you call that? Now I know the German word, Zoll. What is Zoll? Duties. I didn't have to pay extra duties or taxes. So I think that's also a really great benefit because I know there are other companies, like a lot of American companies, but you can't get them in Europe. So I'll leave their website linked in the description below if you guys want to check them out. I think they're really great. They have lots of different shapes and colors, and I think they also have some accessories like a trellis and things to make a garden tunnel. So in a month's time, if you want to see me going out and actually planting in the raised garden beds, then make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications so that you are reminded when I post that video. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great week, and till then, bye.